Animate Dead is the necromancer spell in D&D 5e. As the spell name implies, you animate the dead back to life. Today, I'll do a deep dive into the mechanics. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where everyone has skeletons in their closets. Let's get right into it. 3rd level action 1 minute cast. This spell creates an undead servant. Choose a pile of bones or a corpse of a medium or small humanoid within range. Your spell imbues the target with a foul mimicry of life, raising it as an undead creature. The target becomes a skeleton if you choose bones, or a zombie if you choose a corpse. The DM has the creature's game statistics. On each of your turns, you can use a bonus action to mentally command any creature you made with this spell if the creature's within 60 feet of you. If you control multiple creatures, you can command any or all of them at the same time, issuing the same commands to each one. You decide what action the creature will take and where it will move during its turn. Or you can issue a general command, such as to guard a particular chamber or corridor. If you issue no command, the creature only defends itself against hostile creatures. Once given an order, the creature continues to follow it until its task is complete. The creature is under your control for 24 hours, after which it stops obeying any command you've given it. To maintain control of the creature for another 24 hours, you must cast this spell on the creature again before the current 24-hour period ends. This use of the spell reasserts your control over up to 4 creatures you have animated with this spell, rather than animating a new one. Upcast. When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 4th level or higher, you animate or reassert control over 2 additional undead creatures for each slot level above 3rd. Each of the creatures must come from a different corpse or pile of bones. So using a pile of bones or a corpse of a medium or small humanoid, you can either create a skeleton or a zombie. This is a bit ambiguous because of the sentence structure. Does it mean a pile of bones of a medium or small humanoid? Or does only the corpse option have this restriction? The Sage Advice Compendium, linked in the comments, actually clarifies this. Can I cast Animate Dead on the humanoid-shaped corpse of an undead creature, such as a zombie or a ghast? When Animate Dead targets a corpse, the body must have belonged to a creature of the humanoid creature type. If the spell targets a pile of bones, there is no creature type restrictions. The bones become a skeleton. 2 answers for the price of 1. I didn't even question the first part, but yeah, this means any bones will do. Doesn't matter the creature type. Hey, Gator! Gator! You want to get some chicken wings after this video? For no reason in particular. Just, let's get some chicken. Yeah, chicken! So to compare these 2 options, skeletons and zombies, some immediate differences that you can see is that zombies have more HP than skeletons. And Undead Fortitude definitely increases their resilience, but they have a much lower AC, a meager 8 compared to the 13 AC the skeletons have. I prefer higher AC with low HP over low AC with higher HP. That is because any additional hit points you could give to the one with higher AC, like through the aid spell or temporary hit points through Twilight Domain Cleric's Channel Divinity, are worth a lot more, because it takes a lot longer to remove those hit points. Another thing to notice when we compare the 2 stat blocks is that the skeletons have a ranged attack, namely their short bow, whereas the zombies don't. But Kobold, we could just give the zombies a short bow too, can't we? Maybe, but it's up to the DM how well that will go for you. This is what the monster manual says about the subject. Armor, weapon, and tool proficiencies. Assuming that a creature is proficient with its armor, weapons, and tools, you can swap them out. You decide whether the creature is proficient with its new equipment. For example, a hill giant typically wears hide armor and wields a great club. You could equip a hill giant with chainmail and a great axe instead, and assume the giant is proficient with both, one or the other, or neither. So yeah, you can certainly give them a short bow, but without the DM changing things, the zombies would not be proficient, while the skeletons are, which decreases DPR by a ton. So for that reason, together with the things I mentioned about AC earlier, I would normally favor the skeletons. But it's not just one undead minion you get to control. If you upcast a spell or cast it multiple times, you can target different corpses or pile of bones to create your own horde. This isn't concentration. Take, for example, a level 5 wizard like Gator, who has 2 third-level spell slots. Yay! I'm relevant! That you are. So sometimes before bedtime, you can cast the spell twice and take control over 2 skeletons. After you've slept, sometime before 24 hours pass, you can cast the spell again and take control over your skeleton crew. And cast the spell once more to take control over an additional pile of bones for a total of 3. Continue this another day and you'll get yourself 4 skeletons who will follow your wishes. With a few more casts, you can get an even bigger army. Imagine what a warlock with this spell could do. Anyways, for 24 hours, they can be commanded mentally using a bonus action if they're within 60 feet of you. It'll have to be the same command if you want to command multiple of them at once. You either choose what they do in their next turn, or you say something like, shoot the guy me and my friends are shooting at until it's dead, which will last until the task is complete. Otherwise, it'll just protect itself, which is also not bad. This 24-hour duration makes the spell very economically sound spell slot wise. You use resources from yesterday to have power today. That is super good. You don't even have to use rest casting if you're morally against that. Keep in mind that minions are squishy, and having a source of temporary hit points definitely helps with this. Like the earlier mentioned Twilight Cleric, but a Shepherd Druid or an Artillerist Artificer would also do the trick. And being at range also certainly helps. Ad time! This video is sponsored by Kobold Quest, where you get to play as kobolds! That's right, Kobold only campaign! It's a short campaign about becoming the Kobold champions! A master yipper! Yip yip yip! They've reached their goal, and they wish to thank you for your support, but the Kickstarter isn't over yet! You can still get those sweet rewards, like actually having your own character printed in the official book! Imagine that! Imagine being like, you know my D&D character? They're actually a real character in this campaign! Pretty cool, huh? Not only that, guess who's also in the book? Me! I don't know if I'll be anyone important. As you know, I'm too busy reading and writing scrolls all day every day, but who knows? Maybe I'll have a special quest for you. If you want your character to be in the same book as me, here's your opportunity. Time's running out. I say we need more kobolds like you to aid us in storming that gnome stronghold that's in this campaign. We'll take it as our own and have a good time. I don't know if you guys know this, but Pathfinder 1 was my first system, and it was my gateway drug into the tabletop hobby. That was like 11 years ago. The awesome thing about this book is that it's compatible with Pathfinder 1, Pathfinder 2, D&D 5e, and OSR. Incredible. Multiple communities from different systems coming together to experience this adventure. So what do you say? Come share an adventure with me in this book. It's going to be special. A fun adventure I'll remember for years. Time's running out. Check out the Kickstarter. Support the bolts. Yip, yip, yip. Yip, yip, yip. A trick to increase the damage output of your undead horde is to hand them magic stone. In the player handbook, it is explained you add your proficiency bonus to spell attacks, which in this case would be the one from your minion. And magic stone makes an exception that the spellcasting ability modifier of the caster, not the thrower, is used. With a +4, they would have a +6 to hit for 1d6 plus 4 damage, which on average is 7. Against a 15 AC, that is a DPR increase of around 60%, per skeleton. You might say the damage is low, but it's not. Remember, you have 3 skeletons throwing magic stones. That's almost 15 DPR, then plus whatever more skeletons you have using short bows. For a zombie, it gives them a ranged attack they are proficient in which they otherwise wouldn't have access to at all. And better yet, this is all magical damage, so if you do go up against creatures with resistance against non-magical damage, this has you covered. This is a very valid strategy for example, a wizard with a level in Artificer or a Spores Druid. Do keep in mind the range, and you can only get 3 pebbles imbued with your magic at once. So if you're controlling 4 minions, for example, then they won't all be getting one. One more cool strategy, one which Quetz made me aware of. For the low price of 10 gold, you can increase the DPR for 1 skeleton by around 66%. Well, as explained before, skeletons are proficient in short swords. If we give them an extra short sword, they could make use out of 2-weapon fighting, as explained in the player's handbook. Short swords are light melee weapons. They apply. Buy a couple and your whole horde can use them. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you send all your skeletons into melee, but if someone in your party is already there, which is likely, it is definitely not a bad idea. In general, if you have excess gear or even magical items, you can hand them over to your minions to buff them up a little bit. Or if you think you're gonna scare the children of the orphanage, you can give them some hats and robes and stuff. You gotta pimp out your skeletons and zombies, man. You gotta make them look really cool. Last but not least, School of Necromancy Wizard. This is the subclass made for this spell, but you are often shunned because of the vile deeds. That's fair. The player handbook does explicitly state that creating undead through the use of necromancy spells is not a good act. Wait, Gator, weren't you gonna help me with this part? Where did you go?
I'm getting chicken wings! I'll be back soon!
Well, alright, I guess there's plenty to talk about for Necromancy Wizard anyways, so I'll leave it to another video. Kobold Quest hopes to earn your support, and I hope to earn your subscription! Just a reminder, the Kickstarter ends soon. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye bye!